Hello fellow tankers, this is Dauntless, and for this episode of Beginner's Guide, I wanted to show you guys how you can upgrade your vehicle. When you purchase any vehicle in the game, it will come completely stock, meaning that it will have the most basic components equipped, and you will have to earn experience and pay credits to upgrade that vehicle. You'll see down here below the vehicle that these are the 5 categories of things that you can upgrade on your vehicle, starting with the gun. Upgrading your gun will, in general, increase your penetration values as well as your alpha damage that you can do. The turret will increase your view range in some cases, as well as give you more armor and increase your traverse speed, meaning how fast you can turn your gun. And this is in general, not all tanks get these bonuses. Some turrets actually will increase your rate of fire and your accuracy when using the same gun. The engine will decrease your chance of catching on fire in general, as well as giving you a horsepower boost, meaning that your vehicle will be able to move that much quicker. The tracks will give you more survivability of your tracks, give you more hit points, meaning that it will be harder for enemies to track you, as well as give you more traverse speed, as well as increase your load limit, meaning you can carry more things on your tank, as well as upgrade things on your tank, such as the gun. Bigger guns weigh a lot more, bigger turrets weigh more, and if you don't upgrade your tracks, you can usually not upgrade other things. So sometimes the track is the first thing that you're going to have to equip. And then the radio, this isn't as important. This is the last module that I usually upgrade on a vehicle, and if I'm going to be grinding past that vehicle, I usually skip the radio altogether. But this will be not your view range, but the effective distance that you can communicate with other vehicles in the game as to locations of enemies. So every time you win a game or you lose a game, you will gain a certain amount of experience. This experience will be shown right here next to this research tab. And this is the amount of experience that you have accumulated in that specific vehicle. When you hit the research tab, it will bring up this window and it will show you all the different modules that you can upgrade on that vehicle. And you have to start at the vehicle, and it will branch off to all the different ways that you can go. And in order to unlock this gun, you'll have to first research this gun. You can't just skip mods. And then once you have that unlocked, you can actually right click it, and you can research it, or you can purchase it and mount it directly from this screen. In general, I like to research the gun first. The gun is going to give you the biggest advantage in terms of carrying games and gaining more experience. It's going to just increase that speed that you can research your next vehicle when you have that top gun. This is because you'll be able to penetrate more effectively, and then your shots will do, in general, more damage. And then having the top turret, a lot of the time the turret will actually be ahead of the top gun, forcing you to research the turret first, but having a nice turret can actually be beneficial to hauling down. For example, with the 110, the first turret that you unlock for it is a lot more bouncy than the stock turret, and it'll give you more survivability. And as you can see here, the 100mm gun that you get on the tank, the top gun, has to be researched after your turret. So in general, I always research the gun first. Unfortunately, a lot of the time when you're upgrading your gun, it weighs too much and your vehicle will not be able to equip it unless you upgrade the tracks. And a lot of the time tracks can be very expensive to research, and it can be just a real pain if you're just trying to fly past that tank. And in these instances, what I actually do with the vehicle is go into your equipment, and if you have an open slot, go ahead and use that. If you don't, I would recommend replacing your improved ventilation, or alternatively your vertical stabilizer, anything that's not really super important, your extra slot per se. And go ahead and go down, and you can buy these enhanced Torsion bars, and depending on whatever vehicle you're in, it'll tell you the class. This can be very expensive depending on the vehicle, costing anywhere to up to I think 600,000 credits, and the cheaper ones only cost like 50,000. But if you have one of these and you know you're gonna work your way past that vehicle and not keep it, I would go ahead and keep a pair of these in your garage. Buy them when they're like 250 credits, when they're half off, and have that. And you can mount it on your vehicle, and this will effectively increase your weight limit by quite a bit, allowing you to max out your vehicle with everything that you want, as well as strengthening your tracks from damage. And it is a great way to save on experience when you're trying to grind for your next tank. And then when you're done with the tank, when you sell it, make sure to demount the enhanced Torsion bars. It costs 10 gold to do so, but it's definitely worth it, and keep it in your depot. And you can always sell it if you need money, but it's nice to have that there, so when you're playing your next vehicle up the line, it's most likely going to use the exact same one, and you can mount it on that and immediately start researching the gun and or equipping things that might be too heavy for it. So we'll pop back into the research tab here. The next thing that I like to mount on my vehicle, once I get the gun, and I don't worry about the tracks because I usually have those Torsion bars that I was talking about. If you choose to want to upgrade the tank further and have not so hard of a grind towards your next vehicle, is the engine. Some vehicles have multiple engines you can get. Some vehicles only have one or two. But I usually like to get the top engine because being able to maneuver the map and get from point A to point B when your team really needs you can be critical, and it really just sucks to have a really slow vehicle. So, and then the radio is last. I usually don't even bother with the radio until I'm playing the tank for fun later on, and I just happen to build up enough experience to get it. One thing I'll actually mention too is that some modules will cross over. For example, if you look at the gun on this vehicle right here and you look at characteristics, it's actually a gun that's mounted on the IS-2, which is this vehicle, the WZ-111, Mod 1-4, and the 110. These vehicles are both vehicles that are the not the predecessors, but the vehicles that come after it, so the 110 and then the WZ. This is pretty cool, meaning that if you unlock the gun on the IS-2, this gun here, it's going to automatically be unlocked right here for the 110. So it can be beneficial to go ahead and unlock those extra guns because you're going to have to get it on the next vehicle anyway, and it will just make your grind that much smoother. And then guess what? If this is a extra gun that you can unlock on the IS-2, and then it's another gun that you have to unlock as your second gun on your 110, this vehicle and this vehicle are one tier apart, meaning this vehicle is going to be seeing tier 10s, this vehicle is only going to see up to tier 9s. Wouldn't you rather face tier 9s with this gun than tier 10s? Or, I'm sorry, the stock gun. Imagine playing this vehicle with the stock gun for how many hundreds of games just to try to get this gun. That would really suck. So it is more beneficial to play the stock gun and grind towards your more elite gun, giving your next tank an advantage if it has that opportunity. Also, some mods are shared amongst other vehicles in the branch. For example, this engine right here just happens to be an engine that is on the WZ-120. That is the tier 9 Chinese medium tank. If you go over to the Chinese medium tank line here, you'll see that this engine right here is in fact the one on the IS-2, meaning that if you ever grind the IS-2 line and you have that engine unlocked, when you play the WZ, you'll automatically start with having the second engine. And you'll notice here that this engine is shared by the WZ, meaning if you unlock it on the WZ-111, you'll automatically have the top engine for this vehicle. Something that else is cool with this line is that if you unlock the 113, you automatically get this 122mm gun unlocked. This is actually a gun that is shared on the tier 9 medium tank, meaning if you unlock, the second you unlock this tank, you get it for free on the WZ-120, which is right here. And this gun costs 59,000 experience to unlock. So you just saved yourself almost 60,000 experience when you just go to the other line first. And so these are things that you can pay attention to when you're grinding a line. Look at similar mods and decide which line you want to go down first, or what things you want to unlock in what order. One last thing I'll leave you with is free experience. Now, free experience is something that is shared among all tanks that you currently own, and it's accumulated as a 5% bonus to any battle that you have. For example, if you had a game where you earned 1,000 experience base, you would get an extra 50 free experience on top of that as a bonus. Free experience is shown up here with this bar, and right now I have 40,000 free experience, and this is experience that I've actually just earned by playing my tanks over and over and over again. You can actually convert your experience from an elite tank. For example, my IS-2 is elited right now, and if I were to play a game, without having my accelerated crew training on, any experience that I gained in this vehicle would start piling up here. And because I have nothing left to unlock with this vehicle, I could use gold and convert my experience, my extra experience that I have, into free experience, meaning that if I had all this free experience saved up, and for example right now I'm training on the SP1C, and let's say I played this vehicle and I earned the RU251, and I wanted to get that top engine immediately because I didn't want to play with a slow tank. Well, the first engine cost 14,000, second one cost 21,000. Well, guess what? With this 40,000 right here, I could just immediately get to the top engine and play a very competitive vehicle without really having to worry about a lot while I play towards the Leopard PTA and not have this slow vehicle that will cripple my team. So free experience is something that is very valuable, and if you choose to use it, it can have a big impact. If you're driving a gold tank around, you can accumulate a lot of free experience, or not free experience, convertible experience very quickly, and if you do purchase gold, you can go ahead and convert that. So anyway guys, hopefully you found this guide useful. If you did, I'd appreciate it if you'd give it a like down below, and also if you've subscribed to my channel, I'll be putting up more of these guides shortly. So anyway guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll talk to you guys later.